Here.
Thank you.
Present.
Reinhardt,
Here.
Copeland,
Here.
Howard. Here. Amber
Here.
Gilmore,
Here.
Haskell.
Here.
We have a forum. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion for the agenda. Four.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Like to have the chairperson. This happens every 2 years. Unless there's a resolution changing that. Is there a resolution? This will be a 2-year election. I'll call for nominations 3 times. Do we have any nominations for chairperson?
I nominate George Gilmore.
Do we have any other nominations?
I nominate Jeff Haskell.
Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations for chairperson are closed. We have an option of doing a secret vote or a roll call vote.
I make a motion. I make a motion that we do a secret vote. Second.
All in favor? I'm sorry, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Should carry. I have a ballot made up. It has all 9 commissioners' names on it. Please only vote for Commissioner Haskell or Commissioner Gilmore. Fold them in half. And then you-
Thank you.
It's even.
Yeah.
You want,
There's a number. There's a number. Sorry, no, that's.
oh, okay.
Do you want?
Just need to keep it nice, yeah.
They can see it.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm not, just wasn't gonna turn it on unless I.
All right.
Thank you.
George, we vote for. Always one in a crowd.
George Survivor.
Nobody's getting voted out, voted out.
Nobody's voted out.
They're not that lucky.
Oh my gosh, this is the tiebreaking one. George Gilmore has 5, Jeff Haskell has 4. Congratulations.
Congrats, George.
You wanna take the,
Do I need to move?
Yeah.
Where do I need to move?
you can just take George's.
We're just here.
Once you get seated, George, I'll hand the meeting over to you for election of the vice chair.
Let's switch their.
We'll go one at a time.
Like, got your nameplates and
I'll grab it for you.
spots.
Reason I wanted, I don't want to sit by Jack.
Yeah.
He's kind of early. I don't want to.
Jeff, you lost your, Jeff. Oh, that when you're ready.
Your
nameplate fell off.
I'm gonna get my agenda, I'm sorry. Okay, the next thing we need to do is election of vice chair. Are there nominations for vice chair?
I nominate Rick Baker.
George, I need to get this nameplate on your butt.
Are there any other nominations?
Oh, for 3 times.
Are there nominations for vice chair? last time. Any nominations? Okay, nominations are closed. Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you.
So you have to move.
Ooh,
It's been nice knowing you.
yeah, I like my seat over here.
Thank goodness. My life will be more manageable.
What do you mean by that?
Right. So the only
Because it
one-
was unanimous.
Welcome.
Hey, Jody.
Hello.
Thank you.
And I just want you to know you're gonna have an install.
Okay, I'll just review and adapt the board rules. Did everyone get a chance to go through there? And does anyone have any thing in the board rules they would like to see changed for the coming year?
Yes, I'd like to make one change, please.
Okay, what changed?
It's on page 20. Commissioner vacancies, 8.2. Since we've gone to 4-year terms instead of 2-year terms. This paragraph 8.2A needs to be updated. And I propose that it's similar to how the judges are filled by appointment and then subsequent election to fill out a partial term. Page done with page 21. The appointments still remain the same. But it's the verbiage at the bottom, is the last line. So we can require an election date for the next available election.
You say it should be vacancy is filled at the next available election date?
Right, for the next election. So if after a year, somebody resigns.
Okay.
You need to have an appointment for the next year until the next election.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or else we will have somebody there for 3 years. But it should be,
It's not elected by people.
which is not elected by the people, it's an appointment by us. So it should be the next,
Filled until
The
the
next
next
general
election.
election is what statute says.
the same as the judges minus the 60 terms of 40. And that change is going because we went to 4-year term. That's the only change that. I do have a question though, Rich. On page 14 at the bottom, 2.6. When it comes to access to public records, I just wanted to verify with the clerk that 8 days following the meeting and then 5 days after they're approved, is that sufficient time for you to have the minutes prepared?
Yeah, that's statute.
That's, thank you. Thank you. That's my question. Thank you.
Do you want to vote on these one at a time, or did anyone else have corrections that they'd like to? Okay, did you want to present that as a motion then, Gabe, so that we can change that?
Yes, I'd like to make that motion with me. Update 8.2 on page 20. Make it the next general election.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have to vote on the rules as a total then, other than just the correction? Okay. So is there a motion to adopt the rules?
I'll make the motion, we adopt the rules as presented with the changes.
Second.
Hey, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Committee appointments. I was hoping I would be elected chair, so I took the liberty of printing out committee assignments. I changed them as little as possible. I changed them as little as possible, but they were way off balance. Some people had 8 committees, we had one person who had no committees. What I did is I evened them out as much as possible. And I think before we actually adopt these, you should look them over. And you talk about it. We should look them over and actually wait to approve them until everyone has a chance to see if there's any conflicts. Then we can deal with the committee of the whole.
And then we have to be attended before the next board meeting.
Yeah, people are already assigned from last time, but we can continue until we adapt with the next meeting. When you look through there, there's a summary page at the end that shows all of the commissioners and what committees they're on. And David, I left yours a little light because you have more townships than the rest of us. So if you're looking through there and wondering why you didn't get more committees, because you attend more township meetings. And I also thought that we would somebody who might be able to pick up slack if there's a commission that has conflict with one of their assignments. Okay. There any corrections on the December minutes? There are more to accept.
Are we done with our previous assignment?
Yeah, we'll approve them actually, committee of the whole. That gives everybody a chance to look over them and check their calendars to see if there's any conflicts. There are more to accept December minutes?
I'll make a motion, we accept the Board of Commissioners minutes for December 18th, 2024.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, general public comment.
Have one, please. Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't say it, sorry.
Hello, I'm Raymond Elliott. I live at the south end of Harrison and I'm still having a problem.
Right, can I interrupt you?
Yes.
I was concerned after your last visit, is
Mhm.
that what you're discussing again today?
No, I'm more. This is different.
Okay.
I'm having a problem with leakage from trucks, okay? I'm having a problem with the stuff coming out of the air. This boat is red. It's black now because of what is coming out of the air around my home. This is the roof of my trailer. Black. It's white. It's not black. I would like somebody to look at this and get this looked at. You know, and this was last week's, I'm sorry. This is the spillage. More spillage that is happening by my home. I wish it would stop. My roof again. Black. I would like it to stop. I really care about our town. This here is a gentleman that keeps carrying a propane tanks up and down our road with a backhoe. Dangerous, okay? All right, now let's get to this. Yesterday I was leaving to go to my doctor's. A GFL truck, this truck, dropped 3 garbage bags in front of my home and they got hit and they blew all over the place. I mean, everywhere. I don't understand why we cannot take care of our trucks. Well, this is another one. I figured I'll go follow a few and take pictures. This is another truck, losing its stuff. Just losing it, literally all over the road, in my yard, everywhere. Here's another one, but they're supposed to be watching this. Ain't the DNR and the cops and everybody supposed to be watching this? You know, this is crazy. Look at this board. I watched a board fly off of this and hit a guy in Claire. This is crazy. This is crazy. Why can't we seem to get any help with any of this? And here's some of the pictures of the garbage yesterday. Okay. I'm just wondering, can we, this is our town, are we gonna take and do anything?
Address us, not them.
I know, but are we gonna do anything to have them?
Okay, and I wanted to talk to you anyway. I was concerned after all of your comments at the last meeting, and I went home and I did some research. And the county or the township does not have jurisdiction over the landfill. that is state regulated, state licensed. And you have to contact either the DEQ or Eagle. And if they, no, let me finish. And if they're not answering your phone calls and letters, I already, on your behalf, contacted our state representative. He's eagerly awaiting your phone call, and I would love to give you his number.
I will, I'll take it.
He said he will, if they're not answering your problems or addressing them, he will make sure that you get an answer from them.
All right, I appreciate that. I thank you very much. All I'm saying is that as a community, this is happening at the south end of Harrison. We should look into it as a community, not just one person, as a community. That's all I'm asking. That's why I'm here. I already knew that you guys couldn't do nothing. I have been begging. I've been trying to find people that would actually look into this situation because it is dangerous.
See you on his number now or after the meeting?
After the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I thank you, people.
Any other public comment? Yeah, go ahead.
Morning, board. My name is Tom Hertzl, Executive Director of Clark County Transit. I'm here today to introduce the new person. I'm retiring at the end of February. And I want to congratulate Dale and Jeff for your leadership on the board the last few years. And Katie looks forward to you and Rick, and expect the same level of service you've always got from Clark County Transit. Well, let me introduce you. Katie McKinnis, she's been at the transit for 15 years, solid background in accounting. And she's gonna uphold everything that we have tried to build over the 13 years. She's done a fantastic job. And she's at your disposal when you need something from the transit. My operations manager, Corey Bars, you might have known him. He took a position at MDOT, so he's no longer with us. He's been replaced by Jeremy Schweitzer. He's on vacation. Week and a half. So as soon as he's available, we'll bring him over here to the meeting so you can meet him. We've rearranged the office, so we have an office manager now. Rochelle Rodriguez. Rumor, I get rid. We're happy to have her back in charge of the office. So these are the people that will take us forward into many years. And I will add that I'm having Katie has been nice enough to have a retirement party for me February 5th at the transit from 1 to 4. If you drop in whenever you want to, and we can share some old times. Hope you got your business situated the other day. I went down to see it, but I did. Do you have any questions? Not, we're gonna go back to the office and continue on.
So you're counting the days?
No. I'm not counting the days. I feel it's a natural progression. Time for me to leave, time for new leadership, ideas. So, I know that you're gonna treat Katie just like you did, man.
She's got big,
Except Dale.
she's got big shoes to fill.
Tom,
Yes,
before
sir.
you go, who won the Ohio State Michigan football game?
He was waiting for that.
Jack, I applaud you for that.
The only thing I can say is we're still playing football and you guys are at home watching.
Now, who won the game?
So, you know who won.
I believe that was at the Horseshoe too, wasn't it? That Michigan beat Ohio State?
You took films, right?
Are there any other public comments? Okay. Communications list. Is there any questions over the communications? Okay, administrators report.
My report's gonna be a little short today because we have been dealing with audit. So we are, in the middle of our audit, which takes quite some time. And then we are also starting our cybersecurity audit, which when I came on board as administrator, the county had just gone through the cybersecurity. Like that month or the month prior. I don't know if you remember, but the county had failed in all kinds of areas, data recovery, network infrastructure management. There was no secure configuration for assets and software. no inventory and control of any of the software, no access control management, no email or web browser protections, no incident response. There was no security awareness or skills training. There was no inventory control on the inventory that we had. There was no secure data protection. And then we didn't have continuous security management that was done several times a day. It's supposed to be done several times a day. We didn't have an audit done. So since summer 22, we've been working on accomplishing all of these tasks, which it's been a pretty big undertaking. They're done, and now we are going to have another audit. So we are in the middle of that. We do have all of these things put in place. I feel like we are pretty secure. So that's another thing we've been working on. Also, Jenny and I have been working on the S&P global report. We did that over Christmas, and that's done. I was happy with how that report came back. And then we will be doing some policy changes because we have some leave time changes and some wage changes that had to be implemented. And then we also have been wrapping up a couple of lawsuits from former inmates. Those are about done. So that's what we've been doing. Again, Tom's retirement party is Wednesday, February 5th from 1 to 4. And it's at the County Transit Building. You know, make note of that. February 5th. And then I'm gonna do as far as the state of the county goes. So we ended with a $5.8 million fund balance. We had 800,000 more revenue than we did in expenditures, which was more than what we had anticipated. We, at this point, should be about 29.17% expense from the 25 budget. And we are hovering over 23.36% expense as of yesterday. So we are a little bit under expense, which is good. Any questions for me? Thank you.
John, you're up.
The only reason Ohio State's still winning because they're mad that Michigan beat them. Right there.
That's right.
That fired them up. I handed out our year-end stats to all you guys there. If anybody wants them here, get a hold of me and I'll print them off. I didn't know how many to print off. The first page basically breaks down by, what they were, the file class. We had one homicide last year. He is currently lodged in, the Department of Corrections because he was detained back on a parolee, so he's not in my jail, but they'll do everything by Zoom and DOC has to bring him back and forth for court. That was the lady, he killed his grandma allegedly, up there, up in, Franklin Township. So, nothing, I mean, pretty general numbers. If you go through there, if you have any questions on, how I broke it down with, what they are crime wise, civil stuff, traffic crashes. If you go down to traffic crashes, I always look at the Cartier crashes and we had 575 of them last year in 24. And crashes without injury was 551. So we actually had more Cartier crashes than regular crashes. So I think we had a couple fatals. Fire incidences, that's all fires in the county, but that is not rescues. You'll see that on the next page, Dale. The next page, the one that's always a good number there I like to see is the suspicious persons. People called in 930 suspicious people in this county, and we check every one of them out. And that's a deterrent there if they're walking down the road. Like you just showing me a picture of a guy goes down Grant Road there and looks in mailboxes. So, yeah, if you have any question on any of them, let me know. So next year, your Michigan State Police incidents will go down what they handle because of what happened in Isabella County. They lost their entire road patrol. The post in Mount Pleasant covers 4 counties. And so now they are all directing their force into Isabella County. So they are the main, out county type, they'll handle everything out there. We might see a car once in a while. We'll see the motor carrier guy, but when you get through here and see, what MSP handles, that will go down. On the third page, I broke it down by township and areas. Obviously, Hayes Township, that's why I gave you one, Brennan, is, has the most incidences out of townships. Clear City has dedicated patrol. Obviously, they have their city police department. Their numbers up there. City of Harrison has dedicated patrol. Lincoln Township, it shows 3,800 incidences for there, but they have dedicated patrol. So a lot of those incidences are generated by my officers over there, where they do a property check, a traffic stop or something like that. So it's not like it's a crime ridden one, but the numbers are up there. Then you go down to the bottom there. And you'll see like Mid-Michigan College that they contract with us and they actually handle, I have retired police officers that work down there. They had about 33 incidents down there. There are some assists like to Osceola County. Those would be, like if Dale gets his fire department or Harrison Fire or Garfield Fire gets sent to another county, that's considered an assist to that county. So that's what those numbers would be. Other out county calls 17, where they might request, an ambulance or another different fire unit, or they're asking us to come and help them do something. The Northern Michigan Mutual Aid Task Force callouts is 5. What that is, we're with every county from basically, if you drew a line of US 10 coast to coast, all the way to the tip of the mitt. Every one of those counties puts somebody into this team, and what that team is either SWAT tactical, search and rescue, dive. So if we have a drowning or something, we have resources from all the northern part of Michigan. Yeah, the state police can do that also. But they established this team years ago, back when I was a road officer. So we use them and we get quicker response from it. So that's what those numbers are. At the bottom of that page, I said, broke it down by agencies, who handles the amount there. And again, there's a little room for error because it's humans involved in this, even myself. So I'll give you an example. If you call in a complaint and the dispatcher loads it as a certain incident type, and then the deputy gets out there and finds out it's something else, that incident sometime, or the file class for that doesn't get changed. So it's not a true number. There's a little margin for error. Does that make sense to you? The last page there. So last year, with all the incidents that we handled, it generated 2,774 case investigations just for my office. In the jail last year, the 2024 calendar year, they booked in 1,339 people. Total approximate revenue was from October 1 of 23 through September 30th of 24 was 1.185115. That should be a lot more this year. I can guarantee you that. That doesn't include commissary, home wave, the e-cigarettes, anything that we generate from what the inmates buy inside the jail. That goes in, that's above that. And then at the next one would be today's count. We're at 166 total. That's the biggest number or largest number we've had since prior to COVID. Then the locals, 69, feds, 51s, Ogama shut their jail down. They're primarily lodging in Gladwin County, but Gladwin's full, so we take the overflow from them, and they are sentenced inmates. They do all the transports, nothing. We don't do any transports for them. Macomb got a hold of us and said, can you take some of our inmates? What they're finding is the courts down there, they'll sentence an inmate or sentence a person. They go to the jails are overcrowded. They go in the front door and they go right out the back door into the public. So they want these people to do their time. They do all the transports, bring them up here. Isabella's one. Sometimes we'll lodge somebody in Isabella that shouldn't be in our jail because of a conflict, vice versa. So that's why we have one from them. Grand Traverse Sheriff's Office, we have 27 of their people, they're sentenced inmates. Again, they bring them down and take them back. So if they get booked out or whatever they're gonna do, they have to come and get them. They don't get booked out here, they go back to the area where they're at. They're currently working on the jail floor, they're putting down that. I don't know what it's called, it's like epoxy, a nice, what you'd want in your pole barn, a real nice floor, they spray it down. We're doing all our holding areas, all of our showers and that, they're non-slip, they grip there, and so it's been 20-some years and they needed to be redone, so they're getting done right now. I have two gentlemen in FTO that just graduated from this last police academy. They're both doing very well, they're local people, and they're moving along good. We're interviewing right now for corrections positions, I think we're down one or two, we have a couple people retiring here pretty soon, so we're trying to get them in there and get them going training. We did have patrol car hit the other day on a crash on the highway. Luckily, nobody was hurt and the damage was minimal. And Lori says, there goes the insurance again. I wanted to give a shout out to Josh Chapman. He is the coolest, level-headed dude you could have doing IT right now. When we went to this dual authentication, and I helped him as much as I mentally could. He handled this whole big changeover and it was huge. You have no idea the amount of devices we have attached to our network here, and he had to touch almost every one of them. So, and he stays calm, and I can tell when he gets worked up, but he doesn't show it, you know, but he's a good plus for our county. And thanks to Lori and her staff, they've always worked very well with us. Sometimes I don't like her though, but most of the times I do. So I'm sure if you have questions, and if you wanna any more in-depth breakdowns like the townships and that, I hope to get out to them here over the next 2-3 months and break it down for your townships, actual incidences and that. I have it in a spreadsheet, I just gotta divide it up, so.
And how close are we here, max capacity jail?
That's about it. Yeah.
6 people.
170 is, 170s is, you know, we can always throw a couple cots down. So, well, we ran in, you know, like here, New Year's Eve, we did 2 drug search warrants, we arrested 8 people. And we didn't arrest 3, so there would have been 11, but they were working with us, so we had ended up getting warrants, so that big influx all of a sudden in that holding area, it hurts, you know, it's hard to move people around, and I need a bigger holding area. I have a guy that's been in a holding cell because of his mental state since May when we arrested him. So we need mental health help. So.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Thanks, Tim. Well, would you like this for real thing?
Make a motion to reappoint Joel Phillips as a Clear County member of the Community Mental Health for Central Michigan Board of Directors for a 3-year term to end on March 31st of 2028.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. David, do you want to do transit?
Motion to approve resolution of intent 25-01 to apply for financial assistance for fiscal year 2025 to 2026 for Clare County Public Transportation Programs. Contract resolution 25-02 for fiscal year 2025 to 2026, which allows Katie McAnees, the Clare County Transit Director, to execute contracts with NDOT, which are $1,081 or less. $1,081,000 or less. Resolution authorizing adoption and verification of contract clauses, certifications, number 2503, which governs how any transit project requirements apply, and such clauses apply to all federally funded contracts for fiscal year 2025-2026. Resolution 2025-04, authorizing adoption and ratification of public act 51 to maintain an accessibility plan with MDOT addressing accessibility for all residents.
I'll second.
Any questions? We need to take a roll call.
Copeland,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Hankin,
Yes.
Feinhardt,
Yes.
Ambrositis.
Yes.
Gilmore,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
Jacob, would you do, public works?
Motion to reappoint Lester Ritter.
Right.
Brian Tomoski, Ruth Potter, Jason Walters, and Sam Russell to the Department of Public Works Board for a 3-year term at the end of September, that ends in September 30th of 2028. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Rick.
Statutory Finance Committee motion to approve statutory finance committee meeting minutes of December 23rd, 2024, amount of $93,963.82, and January 6th, 2025, an amount of $7,234.72.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
I didn't hear the second.
I second it.
Yeah.
Hankin,
Yes.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Ambrositis,
Yes.
Feinhardt,
Yes.
Gilmore,
Yes.
Haskell,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Copeland.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
Okay, Keith, you wanna do monthly expenditures?
I make a motion to approve the expenditures for the month of December 2024 in the amount of $2,600,762.42, with the general fund expenditures totaling $1,425,360.21.
There a second?
Second.
I'm gonna roll call, Lori.
Ambrositis,
Yes.
Haskell,
Yes.
Gilmore,
Yes.
Copeland,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Hankin,
Yes.
Feinhardt.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, Jeff, the next one.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve budget adjustment 25-31 in the amount of $112,280.83.
I'll second it.
Give roll call.
Haskell,
Yes.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Hankin,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Gilmore,
Yes.
Copeland,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Feinhardt,
Yes.
Ambrositis.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Jack.
I move to adopt resolution 25-05, authorizing issuance of the county's limited tax general obligation bonds in the maximum principal amount of $12 million to finance Clare County Road Commission facilities improvement and pledging the county's limited tax full faith and credit to repayment of such bonds.
Second.
Okay. Is there discussion on this? I would like to discuss. Dwayne was great. I showed up over there to do a walkthrough and see their current facilities. And I asked him a lot of questions and he was more than glad to share the results. I honestly think all of the commissioners before we make a decision like this that commits us for 30 years, should go over there and do the same walkthrough. So I would like to ask if we could have a motion to table this. And we could actually have our our committee of the whole meeting at the road commission building if it would be available. So that the whole commission could do a walkthrough and ask questions of Dwayne and get more information before we act on this 30-year commitment.
What information did we receive during your walk that we didn't already have?
Well, for one, I got to see the condition of the building and know where they thought they had compliance issues. See what those were. Find out the age of his equipment, since they plan on paying for this out of the equipment fund. Number of vehicles and the ages that they were. And I think that's something we all need to evaluate and see firsthand. 30 years is a long commitment and a lot of interest to be paying on this. So I think everyone needs to be a little more well-informed. So I'd like all the commissioners to have that opportunity.
Well, I would say that we've had that opportunity since this was presented back in December. Every commissioner here had that opportunity to reach out to Dwayne and go to the road commission and do that.
I
And
know,
I'm glad that you did. I've been going there and I know Dwayne and his staff have been coming here and briefing us on what the condition is. I think we're all pretty well aware of what the condition is. I mean, I'm glad that you went. I think time is of the essence. I think we've had 45 days to review this. We're here now to decide. We continue to push this to the right, keep pushing it out. Their building is not fixing itself. Their problem is not going away. And I am sensitive, truly sensitive to the 30-year bond and the amount of interest that we're gonna pay. But we have no choice.
we do have a choice. And that choice is gonna be made either today or next month at our meeting. So is there a motion to table it until next meeting or not?
Have further discussion. Dwayne, is this gonna hinder by pushing it out to our, to our, committee of the whole meeting? Is it gonna hinder that little bit of delay? Are you there?
Yeah, no, I'm just, Gary's here from FED, he's our construction manager, but
Okay,
yeah, there's timeline of things. Things are kind of lined up based off today, but
will it hinder it that much if we all meet out to your place at the?
That's a question that can't be simply answered. There are cost escalations that hit us every first quarter of every year.
Right.
Trying to make sure the avoid those to the best of our ability.
Yeah,
And then there's we're working through design. We're gonna be ready here this month, towards the end of this month, with that design package, to have the bid market early so we can backlog this for contractors and get fast pricing.
okay,
So another month does create some impacts. How much, I can't.
right. I, you know, it is a big decision. And I think George's, recommendation, it's a pretty good recommendation, because if we all showed up there and went through it as a group, like we're gonna make the decision as a group, I think it's gonna put us more as a unit that's working together for this, instead of individually going out there, because maybe there's some questions some have that others would know. So I don't really see the issue with us all meeting there and going through that, as long as it's not gonna really be a big hindrance on the project.
I believe it's super important that we do this, because just as a constituents out there, there's really not much support in that building unless it's deemed that it has to be done. So the questions they're asking me, who inspected the building, who's saying that it has to be done? Did we bring someone in there to look at it, or we're just us internally doing it? That's the questions getting asked to me.
I was asked if you had a feasibility study at my township meeting last night. And I told him I did not know, but I was sure you could answer that today.
And the general comment is that, if it's deemed that building has to be done, by somebody other than internally or for it. But this, they put back as a want or a need. So I think it's important that we do this. So, I mean, to show the public that if it is building does have to be done, but it has to be done. So we get the support for that. So you really don't have the community support unless we do something like this.
Yeah, and it's important that we work as a group and make this decision as a group. and answer every question we have. You know, it's,
So Dwayne, was there a feasibility study?
Here did that.
Okay, so we have a cost estimate of what it would cost, to make your current building compliant. We do have that, yes. Do you have those handy, or is that something you can give us when we have our meeting out there? Okay.
Tell you it's close to $5 million. And as far as inspections go, Dave has all those reports. We're required to have building inspections annually through our insurance company, which lists all the defects of the building that require repair. I can tell you, we've kicked some of them down the road, putting them off, because I don't want to commit high dollar amount to a repair, satisfy them if I know we're moving forward from the old building. So it's kind of a juggling thing, just to make them happy for the time being, so.
There's a couple things at play here. You have the repairs that need to be done structurally to the facility to make it safe from that report that David provided. And then there's, as you continue to make these upgrades and renovations, there's a tipping point where you go from a rehab 1, rehab 2 code compliance, where rehab 3, which technically is your building code. So if we ever get to the part of go from 2 to 3, now you're into a full facility upgrade, and that $4 to $5 million number is considered. So there's a big risk here, just take it from a period of time.
Is there a motion to table it or for the next meeting or not?
can we move the committee of the whole meeting up?
And if you want, it's.
You know? It's always a thought.
You could just do a special meeting and then just keep the committee of the whole meeting as planned.
The only reason I suggest the committee of the whole, I know everyone's already got it on their calendar. And so we might have a better opportunity for everyone to show up.
So we're gonna, obviously, your board passed the okay to do this, looked at everything you gave them. And said it's good.
Correct, yes.
And when the community's questions go to their board, whether it's right or not, they're coming to us just because we're putting the bond through, is that the objection? I almost feel we're micromanaging here, and I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, we're co-signing for the bonds, and we're the ones that go to the township meetings and get to hear from the public on each and every one of these things. Both of my townships have been very concerned about this. That's why I come back and ask Wayne some of the questions.
Well, and they were here.
Right.
And didn't agree with it because the interest being paid. We'll just say that, but I'm looking at the fact that their board went in, looked at the monies they have and everything else, then the financial people came and talked to us and said they could afford it. I'm just saying, I don't know what the difference would be whether you vote yes or no on it, if we go out there or not. I'm just asking.
Okay.
So if it is, it is. That's just my opinion.
I thought it would be beneficial. It would give you more to base your answers to the general public on when they ask you about it. It's up to you. Anyone gonna move to table it or not?
My main concern is that the feasibility study showed that. Why you have to be the buildings when you're back to the community, John, why you did this.
Rick, I understand what you're saying, and I've heard some of that as well. I completely understand maybe a visual of a want. Of course, it's a want, that, I mean, who doesn't, right? But I'm not doing it off want. I would never take on this responsibility financially or a want. It's a need. I feel like the community will greatly benefit from this project. It increases in efficiency. It keeps our equipment that we spend a lot of money on, preserves them, longer lasting. I think in the long run, it's the best decision for this county. I wholeheartedly believe that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put the time and commitment into getting us to this point.
George, thank you so much for coming out,
I,
visiting,
and I appreciated your time.
and, I know Gabe has. And I know, I just wanna say it, we've always been welcoming to an office visit. I think I've mentioned that several times. And whether you guys can make it out or not, you know, I understand, but, like, kind of going back to what Gabe said, I think there's been a lot of time and, we have our twice a month, we have our, board meetings. I haven't heard anything from that. People that have come to our board meetings are in full support of what we're trying to accomplish. So I kind of been waiting for today, and I was hoping today was the day, so I guess.
I'll just ask one last time, if anyone wants to table the motion or if we need to move forward. Okay. All those in, this has to be roll call. Yeah.
Reinhardt,
Yes.
Copeland,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Ambrositis,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Haskell,
Yes.
Majeski,
Yes.
Gilmore,
I have to vote no, sorry.
motion carried.
Okay. Dale, you wanna take the last one?
Sure. Motion to exclude all part-time employees from retirement benefits eligibility.
There a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion with any guy?
How many employees does this affect? 60? We've never given them that opportunity before.
No, and it changed, I believe, as far as we can tell, like 2020. But we didn't know about it until we were notified by MERS that the county needed to opt out of this unless they were gonna continue to, or go ahead and do it.
Okay, so this is not a benefit we're taking away.
No, it's not a benefit, but it will cost us $47,000 a year, and it's also gonna cost the part-time employee 4.7% of their income. So it's not a benefit we're taking away. It's a benefit we're not going to offer.
And there's turnover. So what is the attrition rate for part-time employees in the county?
I would say 50 or 60%.
So with a 10-year vest. Almost none of these employees were part-time ever going to be eligible for this MERS retirement if we were to offer.
It is a bookkeeping nightmare for Jody.
Okay. Roll call, Lori?
Majeski,
Yes.
Ambrositis,
Yes.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gilmore,
Yes.
Haskell,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Reinhardt,
Yes.
Copeland,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. Clerk's report.
So I just have a couple things today. Just want to let you know that there's been a shift in circuit court, which is the court under my office. The family court used to be held by Judge Klaus in the probate and family court room over there. Her staff handled the files and she handled the cases. They're in the middle of a shift, moving those cases back to the 55th Circuit Court judges, Judge Ambrositis and Judge Covey. So it's going to be 6 months, we're moving half of the files over, and then in 6 months, they're going to move the rest of the files over. So it's just a change. Filing deadline for the May election is February 11th. I do expect a countywide election. I won't announce who because they haven't filed the paperwork yet. Once they do, I'll let you know that, but I do expect a countywide election. And I didn't read the resolution. Is that for a May election for the road commission, or does it say in there? What are we
It's
doing?
not an
Not
election.
an election.
Oh, that's right, it's not an election, I forgot, sorry. So we will have a countywide election in May, assuming they file the paperwork as they have promised to do before February 11th. That's the only thing that I know of this year for elections. That's probably it for me. Any questions?
RSD possibly.
Well, that election in May does not qualify for the 9 days, correct?
It does qualify for the 9 days of early voting. We have the option of doing 9 days of early voting on any election. The agreement that I made with the clerks of this county was to not have 9 days of early voting unless it's a state or federal election. It was required then. So it is an option that we are not taking. So there will not be 9 days of early voting.
What is the, who's filing? What is the paperwork? Is it
I
RESD? or-
couldn't say until they do, it's not up to me to announce that they're seeking a millage.
No, you can't keep us in suspense.
It's just been talk, but. Anything else?
Don't they have to pay the full amount?
Yes, if anyone files for an election that's not a state or federal election, they have to pay for all of the costs.
What, ballpark, what would that cost be?
I estimated $20,000 for May.
So if somebody wants to get a millage, it'd be in the ballpark of $20,000 to them, right?
Yes. Unless we outside source programming, that would be additional. But minimum 20,000.
Thank you.
Here, anything else?
Thanks, Bart.
Sure.
Jenny,
Good morning. I did have sent around your current cash investments and fund balance report as of the end of December. I'm not sure if they got all the way around to it. You guys have everything? Okay. If you ever have any questions on that, please feel free to come to my office or call me, email me, and I can go through that with you. We're at that time of year again with all of the property tax deadlines. And so right now in your guys' jurisdiction, the 2024 current tax is being collected and it's due by February 28th without penalty and fees at your township. And if they can't get paid, then they come over us to delinquent March 1st. We at our office right now are collecting the delinquent taxes, which are 2023 and prior. The 2023 taxes we in 2022 we just sent notices out for just under 3,000. The 2023 taxes are in danger of forfeiture, which means they're going to get some pretty big fees added on to them because now we're getting into the statutory process where there's a year redemption before they get foreclosed. So they have to have those paid by February 28th to not get hit with those fees. If they do get hit, they unfortunately can't pay, they get hit with those fees, then they have a whole nother year to pay it before they would be foreclosed. But also, we're just full of tax deadlines right now. The 2022 taxes are the ones that are in danger of foreclosure. And if those are not paid by March 31st, those do get foreclosed. So we work really hard with people. My office, our rock stars, they are calling and mailing, just trying to get any kind of information to find people because we want to figure out how to save their property. We work hard with a lot of agencies in Clare County that help save their properties. Statutorily, there are 2 hearings that taxpayers can come to. There's one in front of me, January 23rd. From 10 to 4, it's a show cause hearing, and it's where myself and my staff work with them, make sure they meet criteria, make sure they're doing what they can on their side, and I can extend the foreclosure if they qualify, which means I can give them 6 months to a year to pay their taxes and try to get caught up and not foreclose. But we have to have that agreement before the foreclosure date. Then there's also a judicial foreclosure, which is in front of the circuit court judge. That's Thursday, February 27th at 9 in the morning. And that's if there's something I can't, if with my constraints, if I can't help them, then the judge has the option to help them out. So we have it. So we're working really hard to help. So if you have constituents coming to you that have any trouble paying property taxes, please send them to us and we can talk them through that and get them with agencies and, try to figure out what we can do to help. And also on a more fun note is, statutorily, my office also has to collect dog licenses and those have to be paid by February 28th also, or they get charged a late fee. But one good thing we've implemented is we give out dog baskets. So if you guys get your dog's license, you are automatically in a drawing to get a free fun gift dog basket. So please get your dog's license. And that's it for me, unless you guys have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, chair report. First, I'd like to start Dwayne. Nothing personal. I was voting the way my townships told me to vote. I do have mixed feelings. I can see where you need a new building. But I still have problems with the 30-year interest rate. So nothing personal. My township meetings I've been attending, as well as my committee meetings, I really have nothing to report. Rick?
I just want to give a kudos out to Jenny and we're in S&P report, our ratings. I mean, good job. Did a little bit on that, what our ratings are.
I mean, I think I sent everybody a report, but
Yeah, quite the achievement.
we've come a long way. I mean, we still have some improvements to make, but we've come a long way on where we were a few years ago, and the changes that we've made have been really positive and helped the rating roads. We're pretty excited about it.
It's the hard work paid off.
Thank you.
Okay. Marlene?
Just attending my meetings and everybody's happy and whole. But, I just want everybody to please remember, everybody out in California, the fires are very devastating. As a person that has gone through a fire, it's not pleasant. So just keep everyone in your prayers, please.
David?
This month it was back to the normal schedule with the holidays and split of meetings. Franklin Township signed a better contract for the year. They're looking to buy new tables for the town hall. They're starting to pivot weather, so we're hoping they're gonna have something to handle that. Out in Hamilton Township, they are working on wind and solar issue that the state has so graciously put on us. They were told they have to start looking at Rio, which is a management entity for renewable energy. And they were also informed that there is currently a appeal that is being done the state courts to try and overturn the state's implementation of the public service commission. So they will try to these. So they decided that they were going to sign on to the cost nothing if they were not responsible for results. One of it. The things that we have local and kind of entities sign on to try and help add numbers to show that municipalities are not the state. And then out in Winterfield, they had to adjust their credit cards and their accounts. They have been bored. The clerk has retired. So they're moving on and on. Just make sure it's up to date. And they also pointed they. That's all I have.
I'll then get the meetings and start to build those relationships with constituents.
I have weekends when we have
City Township.
Good morning again. The only thing I have is that we'll have the airport committee meeting on the 28th of January at 4 p.m. in this room. Other than that, nothing else to report.
I ended my meetings and congratulations, George. Good job on your first meeting.
Thanks.
That's all I got.
I'm sure it was rough, but that's okay.
No, you did a very good job.
You know, last month was of the holidays and everything, and it was the meetings, some of my meetings were canceled, so. But I would like to say one thing, you know, when you look at those, get the paper and the number of people that for whatever reason can't pay their property taxes, I don't think I've ever seen one, the paper have that many people. And I don't know whether they can't afford them or they're just waiting until the last minute. But I am getting suspicious that there's a lot of people in this county that just can't keep paying when they come with more and more millages. You know, the little people out there like me, not the elected people, but the little people, they're starting to struggle on paying their taxes. So I'm going to be in the future, you're gonna have to convince me that we need more millages to vote yes. So just want to throw that out there.
Can I make one just little clarification? There's a lot of people in the paper, but it's multiple people with one tax number. Because in the paper, it's anybody that has an interest. So if anybody has a lien on it, they're in the paper because it's just notifying that that parcel is going to be foreclosed on. So it looks like a lot of people, but in reality, I think we're under 400 right now that are in danger of foreclosure. But there's most of them pay by the end of, we do have. But I just want to make sure that clarification that that whole entire list, they aren't separate parcels.
But to get on that list, you have to be 3 years.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, but it's
So-
people also, there's like the hospital, has liens on people, and the funeral home will have liens, or a construction company has liens, so there could be one parcel that has 5 other people affiliated with it. But they are, if you look at just the parcel number, if you skim through just.
I see that, and I know some of the banks and things have them, but there's still some people on there that I know that aren't affiliated with that, so.
Right.
I'm just concerned about the number of people that have trouble paying their taxes.
Those people are listed in that paper too, right?
Yep. Yep, so the people that own the property are obviously on there.
Okay.
And then anybody land contract holder, it's just a notice to inform everybody that could potentially have an interest in the one parcel. That if it's not paid by March 31st, all those liens get extinguished, so their interest goes away. So it's just a statutory notice that we have to put out there right now. So there's about 400. It's pretty status quo. We see the same thing every year.
About
And
400
roughly
every year.
about the same. So the liens ebb and flow on what that is, but around the same. We're at the same, roughly around 400 people left owing on, that could be potentially foreclosed on parcels, that's foreign parcels. But this is the time of year where my office is really busy because everyone's trying to pay now. And we take partial payments, so people could potentially have that. But like last year, we foreclosed on 28. So out of all those people on the paper, everybody paid except for or had an extension with us or something. I don't know if that helps. I just like to clarify because we get so many people that call us about that list and think that they can buy the properties right now. They don't realize that if they don't read the big paragraph on the front, 3/4 of the page on the front, that just lets me know that it's just a notice. Just letting people know that that property is in danger of being foreclosed. Not the person. Necessarily. This is their interest. Sorry, I don't know if that's making it more money or not, but it's just anybody that has a lien on that is also listed. We had some funeral homes call and say, why are our names in the paper? So we ask if they have a lien on that property, there they do, or about a person.
Okay, yeah,
Sure, just a few things. We have two new cell towers going in Lincoln Township, Verizon towers. There's one on Cedar and Finley, which is up and the antennas are on, and hopefully within the next month or two, it's operational. And there's a second tower going in on Bringold Avenue and Man Siding, so right on the corner. I believe it's the same company that's doing it, so it's gonna help out with coverage, cell coverage, definitely out in our area, which is lacking, to say the least.
Really?
Yeah. The second thing, like Marlene was talking about the Cal fires. People do not understand the devastation that has happened and the resources that have to go to that. The tornado that we had in Lincoln Township last year, if it would have went a quarter mile north, we don't have enough resources to handle something like that because it was a busy weekend. Every cottage and house was full. There were tons of people in town. Every department in this county would not have been enough resources to deal with that incident. It just, when stuff happens on a large scale like this, it's crazy. You watch the news and it's frustrating, especially me coming from the fire service. Everybody wants to point blame. Everybody wants to blame somebody. If something like this happens, forget the blame right now. Let's get the help to the people. You know, and again, you could have had every state in the United States send fire personnel and equipment to what's happening out there right now in fires. You still wouldn't have had enough to help. There's just so much. It's just at a large scale. So I really hope that they get away from this trying to blame and let's help the people that need the help. And it's going to be something that, just like Katrina and the other emergencies we've had, mass emergencies, it's going to be years, and some will not rebuild. You know, it's a sad situation. So
Some don't have insurance.
some don't have insurance, and from what I understand, some of the insurance companies are already telling them, we're going belly up. We're not going to pay. So, which is another frustrating topic all of its own. But that's all I have.
I don't think we have any unfinished business. Is there any new business? Any more public comments? Okay, Dwayne, before we're done, would it be possible to email me a copy of your feasibility study so I can pass it on to my townships? Thank you. Okay, meeting's adjourned.